Hello, Pisces. Welcome to the last little bit of October 2019. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. Can you please show me the energies present for the sign of Pisces? Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of October. Six of Wands, come here. Six of Wands. Three of Swords. You have the Moon. Five of Cups. Two more for Pisces, please. Okay. Nine of Cups. Knight of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the Five of Swords. So, Pisces. Feels like in the past there was an issue here in regard to communication, in regard to being recognized, being seen for your connection with somebody, or just not being able to be on the same page with somebody. It feels here that there's an energy where it ended up in a kind of a sore space, painful space. And either you or the person that you're dealing with, it feels like with the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck, this is basically an overarching energy, which indicates to me that there's been some sort of problem here, communication problems, issues with being mistreated, mind games, people who sabotage situations because they don't know how to experience them. Either you or this person, it could be both of you at this point, are feeling a sense of emotional, I feel like emotionally constricted. I feel like there's like this, how do I want to say that? How do I feel that? It's almost as if it's like the emotions are so caught up in the pain or the frustration, the healing aspect of things, that it's like we're still focused on the problems that may have occurred with this person. You giving your all or them giving their all, whoever it was. These readings are general, they can go back and forth, but overall it's like what I'm feeling here is one person was like giving, or some sort of energy where it's like we wanted to be seen for our efforts and taken seriously, and the other person may have not been of that mindset. It feels now that you're still here though, or it could be them. But I'm feeling that there's a necessity to let this go. There's, with the Moon, we have like this emotional unease. We're not seeing clearly. We're not seeing things through clearly, especially when we're coming from a place of emotional unrest and distress. The Five of Swords also can be a card of self-sabotage as well. So I would say, in an effort to help yourself out of this emotional pitfall, like, try to maintain things that are good in your life. Don't be in situations that sabotage your happiness, that sabotage potentials and opportunities in your life. The Moon can also talk about addictions, things that we do secretly to cope, especially when we're in low places like this. And I think it's important for you to find things that are healthy outlets versus, overeating or drinking or smoking too much pot, or, whatever it may be. Just be mindful of the things that you introduce into your body and into your mind. I'm feeling the Empress energy. I know she's not out here. She might pop up later, but with the Empress, it's a card of, I know, abundance, of course, but it's a card of nurturing. It's also, when we focus nurturance on ourselves, we give back to ourselves. We make sure to take care of the things that are crucial in our life so that we can have happy outcomes and comfortable outcomes. It's a card of being comfortable and satisfied in ourselves and in our lives and the experiences that we have within our lives and around ourselves, and the people that we have around ourselves. You know, it's about maintaining connections with people that feel comfortable to be with, that you can trust. You know, it's a lot of things. But what I'm feeling here is like an energy where we need to go back towards this Empress energy. We need to embody this more. And I think that that will be a way to uplift you. Even if you're, you know, introducing different things into your life on a health regimen, like, you know, I don't know what you guys do. I don't know what level of health nuttiness you are. I'm pretty health nutty, you know, in certain ways, and then I'm totally not. I was raw vegan for a couple years. That was excellent, you know, but like even in just introducing like fresh juicing into your diet, you know, or like, you know, drinking fresh juices. And I don't mean like going to the store and buying something, you know, like a fresh juice. Like you have to juice them, and that's not the blender. Blender and juicer, very, very different. Juicing removes the fiber and it gives you the majority of the nutrients. Blending just cuts the vegetable up into tiny bits and then you digest it and poop it out. Very different. But what I'm feeling here is like there's a call, Pisces, to start to introduce healthier things into your experience so that you can start to uplift your own energy. The reason that the juicing came to mind was because I know when I personally juice a lot, I become like very high vibration. I feel very, very connected and filled with clarity, and I just feel like zippy and zappy and great. To uplift out of this Moon and Five of Cups energy, it's going to take something monumental. So however you go about it, if you need to lift weights, go for a run, drink lots of water, hydrate properly, listen to healthier music, meditate at night, pick up aromatherapy, whatever it is to try and soothe yourself versus negative coping mechanisms, please do it. The Nine of Cups with the Knight of Swords, oftentimes the Nine of Cups is a card of emotional connection. It's a card of being happy on an emotional level, being comfortable with the people that you're around, being able to communicate with them, you know, not having fear. I feel here it's almost as if some of you may be dealing with a Scorpio. You know, a little Scorpio at your foot, scorpion at the foot here. Doesn't have to be a Scorpio, but some of you might be. Yeah, a lot of the times, you know, sandwiched in between these things, you know, the Knight of Swords, it is a card of communication. It's a card of thought. It's a card of communicative action, making things happen. Some of you may want to communicate and reach out to somebody that you feel connected to on an emotional level. Some of you may be waiting for communication from somebody in regard to that. The narrative of these tarot readings gets so kind of redundant after a while. It's like people are waiting to communicate with people. If you're fucking gonna communicate. Scorpio's reading, I named it Should It Get Off the Pot. You might want to watch it. I don't know if you're dealing with a Scorp, but who knows. It was about needing to communicate. Yeah, the Knight of Swords basically is, the goal for them is to basically get to the bottom of things. They want to get to the meat of the matter. They want to find out solutions, how they can remedy things, make things better, if not for two people, for themselves. So how do you deal with that? So let's go ahead and get some clarifiers for this reading, Pisces, and then we will continue on. Please show me the Six of Wands for Pisces. Oh my God, come out. You have the High Priestess, Virgo energy, Piscean energy as well. This is basically somebody, either you or somebody is not communicating. They're not being seen. Things are still being kept quiet. And I feel that there's a fair amount of intuition that's been used in this situation. But as far as the Moon and the Five of Cups go, I think the emotions, along with this Five of Swords, the emotions have run amok, Pisces. And so it's almost as if like the intuition, we're worried if it's correct. We're worried if it's on point. And that's understandable. You know, if you're in this energy, Three of Swords, the Moon, Five of Cups, Five of Swords, these are heavy energies, Pisces. You know, especially if you were giving freely to somebody wanting to be recognized. It's almost as if like overdoing things and still not being seen, not being taken seriously. Show me the Three of Swords for Pisces. So you have the Nine of Wands in reverse. That's not a bad card to have in reverse. I like it in reverse. In reverse, the Nine of Wands basically says, I am no longer putting energy into this. I'm no longer going to choose to be defensive about it. I no longer want to maintain it. So that's helpful in regard to this energy, because it tells me that with this Three of Swords, it's something that we're getting over. It's almost like the thing that haunts us is becoming more and more diminished. It's almost like, you know, that nagging energy in ourselves like dissipates further and further away. With the Nine of Wands here in reverse, it's basically saying, you know, I'm capable of making my own decisions. I am emotionally setting myself free from a lot of things. Even if you're still connected to it, it takes a while. It's hard to do. Show me the Moon, please, for Pisces. So you have the Hierophant here for the Moon, and you have the Fool. Now, the Hierophant and the Moon, people get very excited about those two cards, especially in readings regarding relationships. But you know what? In regard to this is about confusion. The Moon poses confusion, energy that's skewed, things that we don't know about, information that's not presented to us, you know, emotional disruption. It can talk about deception and lies as well. But with the Hierophant and the Fool, I think it's important for us to start to figure out different ways to get out of this energy, kind of like I just said for probably 10 minutes, beating a dead horse. But with the Hierophant and the Fool, this is a direction, this is a game changer, difference changing. You've got the Moon, the Hierophant, the Fool, all major arcana, all major lessons, all life-changing decisions that will lead you towards something new and different. It might still be a little bit early to completely uplift your, or uproot yourself and like choose a different path. I feel that a lot of you are choosing, okay, so what I'm feeling is like there's career changes. It's not just let me go find a new job. It's like career changes. I keep doing this, career changes. I don't know what that means. It's like, I don't know. I've got the goosebumpies. Ooh, okay. It's like uncertainty, which direction to go in. The Hierophant is a very interesting card. It can talk about commitment. Oftentimes it talks about society. It talks about tradition, the things that we were raised with, the information that we've been instilled with. You know, what path can I go? I feel like some of you are going to be entering into, or you're, okay. What I'm feeling is like some of you, you're getting out of this energy from whatever, but it's like on the career front, some of you are feeling like you're going to change industries or change careers, paths entirely. Okay. So I'm getting goosebumps. I'm yawning a lot. Those are stressors to me. That tells me I'm experiencing stress. So I'm feeling like this is a stressful situation or potential stressful endeavor. Okay. I feel some of you, in regard to a new career, some of you may find it very daunting. It's like you have the opportunity to do so, but there's a lot of things that you're going to have to rectify in your life to do some of these things. And I don't know, it's almost like a burden. Like some of you like want to do something new, but like the potential for doing something new requires you to step into a completely different role that you may not be used to, and like possibly have to like get certain specific things to identify with that role. And so it's not bad, and it gets you out of this because it puts your energy and effort towards something completely different where you're not like vacillating here. But Pisces, it also feels like you're scared to step into that. Show me the Five of Cups. Yeah, I do want to mention on the bottom for everything there was the Star. This is about trusting your intuition. It's about trusting the path that you feel guided upon. And for those of you who are feeling like you need to change careers, that you need to change situations entirely, completely scrap the old, get on with the new, and you're having problems figuring that out, this is a card where we're urged to trust ourselves. We're urged to trust our feelings, our emotions, and move forward on the path that you feel most connected to. Okay? It's also a card of intense healing. Show me the Five of Cups here for Pisces. You have the Ace of Wands. So yeah, new beginnings and Judgment at the bottom of the deck. This is basically saying, hey, listen, it's time to shake this off. Shake the bones, shake it off, shake yourself out of this energy. It's not healthy for you to maintain any longer. You have opportunities and ideas that are coming for you. Utilize them. The Ace of Wands is a new beginning, but it's new beginnings that we essentially have to initiate. It's something that we feel passionate about. Some of you may be getting into communications, art, in exploring your artistic side. Some of you are photographers, some of you are painters, some of you are writers. Energy very much here too. But whatever it is, there's something, I think the most important part of this card for me that I'm feeling right now is like that initial spark of like, I don't know, for me, I get it in my stomach. I'm like, whew, there it is. Whew. You know, I don't know what that is, but it's like that gut feeling. And I feel that all day long for a myriad of different things. But like sometimes things just come through into your life and it requires you to change your situation. So now this is requiring you to step away from this heartache, this frustration, this emotional like pitfall that you've been in, and start to embrace something new. Start to think of different things of how to move forward in your life. Judgment, yes, it can be about reconciliation. It can be about using your best judgment. But what I'm feeling here is like, how do I use, it's almost like a judgment call. Like I could stay here reminiscing, hurting, being painful. I could move forward and do something new, or I could move forward and do something new. Some of you may be coming into the idea of like becoming a counselor. Some of you may be, I don't know. There's some sort of like counseling, emotional connections. Like if you are in that field, you might be considering taking another degree or like some sort of upping your body of knowledge. It's something interesting here. Counselor, therapist, I don't know what that is. Not all of you are dealing with that. Whatever it is, though, pay attention to it. If you're getting that deep nudge, pay attention to the nudge. Show me the Nine of Cups. So you have the Wheel of Fortune here. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of change. It's a card of things to come. It's a lot of positive energy, but it's energy that is, it takes a fair amount of your effort to actually make things happen. But things are moving. It's about trusting the process, going with the flow. It's about being patient in regard to the things that, you know, make you happy, get you feeling satisfied on an emotional level. And I think with this energy, what it's telling me is that like once you drop this type of stuff, you're going to be better suited to feel that energy, step into that energy and be connected to it on a much easier level. You know, Nine of Cups talks about emotional satisfaction. You know, it's almost at the 10 of Cups where we're like satisfied, we're happy with ourselves, the people that we're with, we have emotional connections, love, abundance in that regard. Here we have some of that, or we're getting towards that, but it's like there's a process here. And I feel that there's an energy that's still eating at you. There's still biting at your foot. And it feels like Scorpio energy. Scorpio, Virgo, Pisces, for some reason. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck for that too, before I shuffle on, we have the Three of Pentacles. This is about being on the same page with people. So if you are going into like school, or, you know, if you have goals or certain things that you want to accomplish, like maybe it's important to start getting involved with people who are also of that mindset, starting to talk to people who are of that mindset. You know, what do you want to do? What do you want to get to know? Like, what is the thing that you want in your life? I feel like a massive amount of changes appear to happen with the Moon, the Hierophant, and the Fool, but it's like kind of this pulling yourself out of this wreckage energy to move forward. I feel it's important to have faith and trust that this is the path that you're supposed to be on. The Nine of Cups, a lot of us look for emotional satisfaction from an outward source. What I'm feeling here after all of this with the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Cups, this is about satisfying yourself. It's about finding satisfaction within the decisions and out of the decisions and path that you move forward and take. It's not about the Nine of Cups, somebody's coming in to make me feel good. Like, fuck that. Make yourself feel good. Do things in your life that bring you joy. Bring yourself satisfaction by immersing yourself in things that absolutely resonate with your experience in life and where you want to go. Okay? Show me the Knight of Swords. And I feel here with this Knight of Swords, this is almost like what I'm feeling is like a confirmation. It's like a personal confirmation, like an aha moment, like a personal victory. That's what I'm feeling from this Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords. It's like gaining new wisdom and going with it, moving forward. Show me the Knight of Swords for Pisces. Knave of Swords, Page of Swords. You have the Three of Wands and the Seven of Cups. So with this is the Page of Swords is basically, it can talk about studying. This is a student, a lot of studying. It's also communication. I don't know if you're going to be dealing with anybody where you have to communicate your feelings of whatever this is to process. I will also say here, if you need to process something of that nature and you're not having communication or anything from somebody, I would say write it out, express it, get it out of your body. If you have to speak and be verbal about it, then do so. Read it out loud 10 times. Express yourself. Be angry. Jab a pillow, like kick a pillow, whatever you want. Don't hurt anybody or a cat or a dog. And don't hurt yourself. Don't drink about it. Don't overeat about it. Like there's things here where it's like we're having these reality moments where we are tending to ourselves in very healthy ways that need to happen. The Page of Swords also can be somebody who watches us, who studies us, who gathers information. I feel here, though, it's like gathering information in regard to the things that you want. The Three of Wands talks about being patient in regard to what you want coming forth toward you. So we find a subject, we find something that we're interested in, we put in the effort, we start to contact people, we put our foot on that path, and then things start to come back towards us. It just takes one foot on the path, and then you start taking steps, and then like a lot happens, but it's putting yourself on that path. Don't sabotage yourself. Now, with the Seven of Cups, this is basically options. And I think a lot of you are figuring out what you want to do, how you want to do things. Some of you are finding out with this Page of Swords, like, what does it take to be, a fireman? What does it take to be an autistic, somebody who works with autistic children? Like what type of specialty, degrees do I need? Like there's something here where it's like we have to like completely go in a different direction where we might have been initially and change things up. And I feel that that's bringing a fair amount of emotional distress because it's like we're coming from a place of emotional distress, and then the opportunity or potential in regard to where we want to go now, it's like it's calling you to do an overhaul of your life, Pisces. And it's important for you to pay attention to the feelings that you get and try not to get stuck in the emotions of it or the fear of it, okay? Okay, so let's see. Is there anything else to clarify? No, I don't feel so. I'm going to pull some advice here. Can I have advice for Pisces? Okay, you have the Emperor. It's flying over here on this area. It's basically energetically telling me that we need to heal, but we also need to start to take initiative in our life. The Emperor takes initiative. He leads his own life. It doesn't have to be he or she. It's just a very powerful energy. I did mention, I believe I mentioned, was this your reading? The Empress energy, stepping into the energy of the Empress, where we start to nurture ourselves. The Emperor is the counterpart to the Empress. It's somebody who is very dutiful in their life. They take care of what needs to be taken care of. They maintain themselves. They basically are more interested in building their own empire. They take care of their lives and the ones that are around them. Very diligent, very hardworking, and very detail oriented. So it's kind of like, you know, they can be CEOs, bankers, accountants. They can be people who have a fair amount of power in certain positions. It feels like you're turning towards a position that is going to leave you either in your own, as your own boss, or like where you are, this is a boss card, okay? Where you're like essentially stepping into a fair level of power or change in your situation. And I feel that there's going to be a fair amount of happiness once that happens, but it's like it frees you from a lot of things. First of all, it dedicates your time to something else other than this emotional distress. It essentially calls upon you. If you are going in as the emperor, this is essentially where you're going to rule your situation and deal with it accordingly. But it's very diligent. It's not stepping away, not sidestepping, not being wishy-washy. This is about commitment, but it's a commitment to yourself in regard to how you choose to take care of your life. Okay? I feel that there's a fair amount of happiness that follows that, though. It's just going to be a road, a long road. Show me more for Pisces. Show me Nocturna. Show me for Pisces, please. Okay. Pisces, you have dusk. Dusk. Duality. Cycles. Beginning. The Dusk card, along with her sister card, Dawn, represents the concept of duality and the cyclical nature of day and night. Dusk is considered the time right before sunset, when darkness descends from the sky and the sun touches the horizon. During this time, nocturnal creatures start to emerge from their sleep. Where I live, bats can be seen flying around, their dark silhouettes standing out against the blazing sky. For this card, I decided to create a picturesque sunset, typically seen on the west coast or Hawaii, where I live and frequently visit. Watching the sunset against the oceans gives me a sense of departure as the light leaves these lands for other horizons. Absolutely. I feel like you're departing one area of your life and moving towards another. This is why I'm telling you about like career changes. That's a huge aspect here coming up, Pisces. Changing spaces, changing sites, changing your mind about things, accepting things and limitations where you might have been afraid to step into. Like, don't limit yourself. That is all about self-sabotage, the Five of Swords energy. This is self-sabotatory energy. It can be dealing with somebody who hurt you, who played mind games with you, who was very negative to you, but it's also a place where, it's also an energy where we start to get into ourselves in regard to, you know, not allowing things to flow for ourselves, you know, self-sabotatory energies. So be mindful of that, okay? I hope this reading was helpful for you, Pisces. If it was, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you choose to donate, there's a link in the description box below. And I will be back for your November reading. Yeah, enjoy Halloween. Like, do something different. Change yourself up. Get all dressed up and weird and, like, go do things that are fun. Get yourself out of the energy that you're in. Shake it up and move. Have fun. All right, Pisces, take care. Bye-bye.